If you're generating thousands of views online, but you're not getting any high-ticket clients, here's exactly what you need to do. For some context, I'm Ansh. I've generated over 250 million views online with over $500,000 in client revenue in the past year alone, with over 90% profit margins. And this is the exact content strategy that's helped me and my clients win the school games where we met Alex Hormozi and Sam Evans in person. I have a team call in 15 minutes, so I'm going to give you a quick masterclass on how it's done. Let's go. Right now, you're creating what we call shotgun content, meaning, let's say these are your pieces of videos and there are a bunch of pellets that you're throwing, hoping one of them lands and converts your ICP. Now, all of these pieces of content you're creating are random topics, hoping that something is sticking, and it's all genuinely just wasted effort. Whereas if you spend all that time actually understanding your ICP, actually understanding the key places of help that your audience needs, then you're wasting time. And so this leads back to our Pareto principle, and that is where 20% of your efforts is going to lead to 80% of your results. And so you need to figure out what are the 5 key pillars or buckets, if whatever you want to call them, that your audience resonates with. So if you have a BizOp offer, like for me, I'm B2B, my main pillars that I focus on would be leads, would be marketing, would be sales. And so these are my main buckets that I focus on. I'm creating content around. Content, that's another one, right? Like this video is fitting into that bucket. It's about creating content. And so you need to analyze what are the core content pillars within your industry and break them down on a macro level, right? Just 5 core pillars. And then you want to create content around those 5 core pillars. Otherwise, you're going to be this dude where you're just spraying and praying on just a bunch of content and which none of it's realistically going to be targeting your ICP. Whereas I take a sniper approach, meaning instead of just posting random pieces of content every single day, I have 1 or 2 high quality pieces of content every single day that is targeting those core pillars that we talked about, those core buckets. Although we don't create a lot of content in terms of quantity, not only is the quality much better, but we have the right messaging, the right positioning. We're talking to the right kind of audience. And so even if your content is not getting hundreds of thousands of views, even if it's, let's say 100 views on YouTube is worth at least 50,000 Instagram views for me any day. And the reason for that is you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't interested in learning how to create good content for your consulting business or your coaching business. And so the people I'm attracting, the people I'm creating this content for, it clearly shows that that's exactly who I want to help out. The reason you're watching this is because I hit one of those core pillars. And so maybe I don't create 5 videos a day, or I'm creating 1 YouTube video a day, but I'm creating, 1 or 2 videos every single week, which are speaking directly to you. And that matters a lot more. So you want to have one core idea behind every piece of content, making sure it hits one of the core 5 pillars that you've set up for your industry. You have an exact message behind each piece of content that you're posting. In this case, it's going to be, how to create good quality content that attracts your ICP. And you want to have precise impact, meaning the audience can actually take away the knowledge that I've shared and actually implement it and see results. And so in this case, for example, take out a pen and paper and list out your 5 core buckets, the 5 core pillars you need to attract your ICP. What are the 5 core things your ICP thinks about? So let's say if you're a fitness coach and you're watching this, what are the 5 core pillars that you wouldn't want to create content around? Number 1 would probably be meals, right? / diet. Another one could be workout routine. Another one could be how-tos on a certain kind of thing, push-pull leg. Another one could be how to track macros, maybe, how to track macros, stuff like that. And so the point is you want to have your core pillars that you want to create content around that resonate with your audience. And so, I've given you examples for BizOp guys or for fitness coaches, so you get the idea. And so while this one's going to get higher views, it's going to have lower conversions, whilst over here, you're going to get lower views, but you're going to have many more high-ticket clients, right? Because you're speaking directly to them. That one magic bullet that you're sending as a piece of content. And that's because you're essentially sniping away any fears, doubts, limiting beliefs your audience or your customers, your prospects may have about you as a coach or a service provider. And so that would make you seem more like an authority rather than running around like a headless chicken with no clear direction. And so very quickly, let's go through some data and I'll share my insights. So we have one of our clients who, before they came and worked with us, were bringing in millions of views a month, right? But, for example, this video went viral, 2.3 million views. They got a lot of followers from it, but, only closed maybe $500 a month from their low ticket product. And the reason is because they're posting skit content, duets with other people's brands, and it wasn't actually talking to their ICP or building that personal connection with them and their audience. And so when they actually had any CTAs, for example, comment X word, and I'll send you over my free guide or whatever, they only got 170 comments out of nearly 1 million views. And so if you do the math on that, 170 divided by 1 million is literally 0.01%. That was the conversion rate from viewer to a lead. And so after we went from creating shotgun content to content that speaks directly to our audience, these were the numbers. Of course, we didn't get anywhere near the views, fine, whatever. Or we got around 1,000 followers, but we made 15K that exact month because of that single piece of content. And here's the math, right? Over here, we generated around 14K views for that video. That exact video got us over 1,600 leads, where if you do the math on that, that is literally a 10.7% conversion rate. And so from 0.01% to 10.7%, it's literally 1,000x. Like we 1,000x'd your conversion rates because we went from creating shotgun content to sniper content by speaking to your audience. And that's way more important. Same coach, same niche, just a different content strategy. Now, before we go, I want to leave you with this one core idea. It's something I've learned over my years in business and also have seen it happen quite recently. Right now, you're probably thinking, how do I create content for my ICP? That's rock. Do not think so small, right? Because you are lowering the amount of views and the amount of people you can reach. Instead, you need to be thinking about how do I create content for my dream follower? And so you might be a bit confused now because, what's the difference between ICP and a dream follower? Surely, they're the same. Not quite. Here's what I mean. Let's draw a circle. Let's say this is your ICP. Maybe you're a fitness coach and you're looking for someone who's above 25 years old, between 25 to 34 years old. He's a male. He's doing a 9 to 5. He's busy. And, he's just looking to get fit. That's your ICP. So if you create content around that, of course, you're going to attract people like that. However, the amount of views and the amount of money you can make is significantly lower, right? Because we're all about creating a personal brand here. We want to create something that lives with you through time, not for just one business, but for multiple businesses, for people who actually follow you for who you are and not just because you're a fitness coach. You're just a dude who loves fitness, right? Because then I have no loyalty to you. If you're a fitness coach and I follow you just because you have very, very nice fitness tips, if you talk about your family morals, or you talk about what your views are on society, or why you started out fitness, or why you're doing X, Y, Z, I wouldn't care. And so that connection between you and me will never be built. And so when you want to try and start something new, maybe let's say a fitness app, or you want to start a clothing brand around fitness, maybe, whatever, right? Your brand loyalty will be nothing compared to what you would have had if you built it the right way. And so what I mean by that is right now, let's say your ICP, that small circle. And let's say this big circle is your dream follower. Now, the way you want to increase the circle is, let's say the next one, you want to talk about your beliefs, right? The next one, you want to talk about your personal story and your values. And the next one, you want to talk about your interests, your hobbies, what makes you unique, cool experiences. And so now you're attracting qualified dream followers who have similar morals to you, similar ethics. They like the way you speak. They like the way, you think about things. They're also interested in tennis. There will be people out there who are not only your ICP, but they're also interested in tennis. They're also interested in rock. They're also interested in, a certain band, right? And so the point is, if you only create content around your ICP, you miss out on all of these extra eyeballs that you could have gotten, which could have eventually converted into a potential high ticket, low ticket, or a mid ticket sale for a different kind of service you might even have, right? Which is not even fitness related. The point is, you want to create content which is not only obviously targeting directly to the ICP and hitting that bullseye, but it's also about creating content where people can have a genuine connection with who you are as a person. Because without connection, you don't have a personal brand. You have a content production team that's built around fueling your business. People don't buy coaching programs, they buy the coach, right? They're buying it because it's you. So give them a reason on why it should be you. Hopefully that helped you out. If you're looking to scale your coaching business and want help with content, leads, conversions, things like that, book a call with us down below. And I'll personally be talking to you Not anyone from my team, will be me. I tend to have conversations with my audience more so. I think it's better. If you're below 5K a month and you're just starting out in the agency, coaching, consulting space, you can join my free school community down below where you have access to a ton of free resources. See you there. Stay blessed.